There you go. Hey everybody, what's going on? KSA Kris here, Real Estate Blitz. Posted up something earlier. By the way, I got Don Shea here with me.
Hey.
Don's actually on our team, and we've been working on social media stuff pretty much all day. And you're going to start seeing a lot of stuff from him. He's setting up what's called the Real Estate Minute. Go check it out. It's going to be on Facebook initially. Then we're going to be moving it to YouTube and a few other spots. You're talking about doing a podcast as well, right?
Yeah, I'm looking to go do a podcast. It's all about education information, trying to do some quick hits for questions that people have as far as real estate.
Cool. So if you don't know, Don Shea was actually the top producing individual real estate agent for Signature Real Estate Group, which is the brokerage that Kim Stone Associates is with. And that's why I kind of wanted him to sit in with me today, because I posted up something talking about the difference between a real estate team and individual agents. And I think a lot of people are confused on what it means, what it is, how does it work, because we go on a lot of interviews, and as we're interviewing for the job to sell somebody's home, they're like, okay, so real estate team, am I working with like all 12 people? Am I working with you? Are you my agent? Who's my agent? And they get confused. And I actually went to an interview with Kim. Beautiful home. I called it the Miami house. This house it was unreal, man. This house, when we walked in, it looked like something that should be from the movie Scarface. I mean, in San Diego, and not like San Diego coastal, San Diego inland. And I walked in, it was mind blowing. They built this house themselves. They were from Florida, and they built this. It was a 6,000 square foot, unreal. As we're telling them what we do and the added value, etc., they said, you know, we're kind of old school, because they were in their 80s. We're kind of old school, and we just want to work with an individual agent. And I'm like, but you are working with an individual agent. Because at that time, and this was about a year ago, so we were still, as a team, we were still relatively new. So this was about a year ago, and we didn't know how to explain or express at the time why we thought working with a team is better than working with an individual agent. What I've learned is, does it matter? Yes. Is it better to work with a team than an individual agent? Maybe. Is it better to work with an individual agent instead of a team? Maybe. It really depends on you. So the reason why I brought up Don. Don was the top producing agent in Signature Real Estate Group. Did you need to join a team?
No, I didn't have to. As a matter of fact, I had people question why I did.
Right.
And to me, there's a lot of benefits to that.
Mm-hmm.
Being an individual agent, it was either, okay, do I join a team or do I start a team? Individually, there's only so much that I can do by myself. But the reason why I joined KSA is because I wanted to join a team, but you guys have a specific mindset, and I'm learning more and more about that. You guys have been investors for 17 years.
Right.
And that's something that I saw a benefit to, not only to myself, but to my clientele. You're only as good as the information that you know. Mm-hmm. And I know a finite amount of information, but in a team, you take my experience, you take Chris's experience, you take Kim's experience, you take Chet. Everybody on the team is a contributor,
right?
And you gather that information, and there's a benefit not only to the individual agents because you can learn from each other, but there's a benefit to the clients.
That's right. Because
everybody has a specific set of knowledge, but if you add that together, you've got tons of experience.
Right. So this is what I would say: individual agent. An individual agent is capped based off of what they know and what experience they individually have. Now, what a lot of people don't know, if you're hiring an agent, you don't realize what it takes to be not a great agent. I'm talking about just being a good agent. So you're good agent. Let's say an agent that closes, what do you think? Well, because what do you think is a good agent? How many deals should a good agent be closing every year?
I'd say a good agent would probably be 20 to 30 deals a year. 20,
30 deals? This is what I would say. I would say a good agent at certain price points. So let's say if it's 400,000 around there and below, yeah, that makes great sense. And if it's 600,000 and above, maybe 12 deals a year, is a pretty good agent. Yeah, pretty good agent. So a good agent should be closing deals, and you're going to be able to look up that agent's information and find out if they're performing or not performing. But this is what they need to know. I always do this, and I always get lost on where the camera is. Right. So first one. Do they know contracts? Second one, if they're a listing agent, now its individual agent is listing and buying, and which I've always thought was, to me it's a lot of, anyways, it is what it is. they need to understand how to sell a house. They need to be able to understand the MLS. And if they're in North San Diego County like we are, you need to know Sandycore, and you also need to know CRMLS, because a lot of our buyers are coming from up north in Riverside, LA, etc., Orange County. You need to know marketing. So marketing is encompassed in social media. Marketing is newspaper print. Marketing is branding. Marketing is, signs. They need to be able to know how to put up signs and take down signs and writers. They need to, it just kind of keeps going. They need to learn how to do lead capture. They need to know how to go out and farm. There's a lot of things that an individual agent ends up having to do that keeps them capped and limited on how many deals per year they can actually close and how much energy they can give to each individual client. So let me back up a little bit. When Kim and I first started, we were carrying anywhere from 20 to 30 deals at any given time. An individual agent, it's so hard. When you get around, let's say, 15 listings and you're working buyers, you're running around hair on fire. And you start having clients calling you up and saying, what's going on? What's happening with my home? And you're like, I don't know. What's your name again? And what's your house? So to me, the reason why we went the team route. So first off, let's talk about why somebody builds a team, because I think that's important. Why would somebody join a team? You just heard what Don said as far as why somebody would join a team. An individual agent, eventually, even if they're amazing, they're going to be capped at what they can and can't produce and perform for them and their clients. It's science. There's no getting around it. Even if you're and I have a friend of mine. He's one of those top producing individual agents, and his kidneys shut down twice last year. His kidneys shut down. Like, you're working that much. You're stressed that much. So why do you build a team? There's two reasons to build a team. In my opinion, there's only two reasons to build a team. The first reason that you build a team is, which I think is the right reason to build a team, is you have a rainmaker on the team, somebody that actually is able to produce deals, produce buyers, produce sellers, and is kind of like the central hub. And you have too much business. You have too much. So you want to start leveraging other people and bringing them into your culture, which is what we kind of do here. Bring them into your culture. And you could spread load the work, and you could also spread load the knowledge. Because again, I'm limited. If I'm an individual agent, I'm limited on what I know. I'm kind of an oddity, and I think a lot of people would agree. I consume information.
Well, I'm joking.
I just I wake up, I'm listening to podcasts. I probably listen 3, 4, 5 different podcasts a day. I read 2 to 3 books a month. I do networking meetings at a minimum once per week with people that are doing better, and I study a lot of other industries and meet industry professionals in other things, because a lot of it transitions into our business. So I'm just built funny, and most agents aren't built that way, so they're limited based off of they're learning through mistakes. When you join a team, because you can spread load that knowledge. I had one of the guys on our team last week ran into something with this other agent. He's like, I don't know how to deal with this. I says, you know what, I don't either, but I know Kim has dealt with that recently. Give Kim a call. He gives Kim a call, and he calls me back and says, man, that was awesome. And that was Mark. He's like, that's awesome. Kim cleared everything up. Now I know exactly where I'm going. That's what you can kind of do. Now, can an individual agent do that through their brokerage?
Yeah, they can reach out to individual people in the brokerage, but they have to get the response. Where if you have the team, boom, you've got instant access.
Right. So, and the reason why I bring it up, and I'm asking you because you came over as an individual agent, top producing agent at that. And let me tell you why I kind of asked that question. I think individual agents, not every brokerage. Some brokerages are kind of like, oh, this is home. Like our brokerage feels like your home, right? But a lot of brokerages, when you're there, it's competition. So if you ask because you don't know, a lot of people don't want to tell you, and they don't want to help you because they don't want to help you.
And that's one thing that I would agree with you is because of the atmosphere, because of the way our brokerage was set up originally, it's kind of unique. Or if you go into other offices, it is very cutthroat. They're not going to share information. They're not going to give you a handout. They're not going to give you a hand up. And they're not going to help you out in that
I would even say sometimes the brokers don't do that because sometimes the brokers are competing brokers. I ask that all the time.
Yeah.
Is the broker a competing broker? So what does that mean? And you should ask too if you're working with somebody. Does your broker compete with you? Are they out there trying to do listings as well? Is it a competing broker? Because now you're talking about, well, if they're not a competing broker, the broker wants the best for the agent. And here's the thing, every broker's going to say, well, I want the best for all my agents too. But if they're out there competing with you to try to get listings and competing with you to try to get buyers, they're not going to be telling every individual agent the secret sauce that made them where, what they are and where they're at producing. So I think the benefits of having a team, I talked about building. First one, Rainmaker, and you're building a culture. Mm-hmm. Second one, which I think is the bad one, what I see people building a team for is you basically want a brokerage without the liability. So you're producing, you're making money, and you're just hiring people, and if they close a deal, then you get paid. If they don't, you don't care because you're not investing anything in them. And me personally, that one makes me feel dirty. I know we give a ton of energy to each one of our agents. We work extensively. We invest a lot of money into the agents. And we want everybody to turn a deal. To me, that just makes better sense. But it is what it is. Now, so what separates the two? So if you're looking to take interviews to sell a home, excuse me, goodness, that was that caffeine's kicking. If you're looking to sell a home and you're interviewing agents, and you're like, do I want to work with an individual agent or do I want to work with a team? In my opinion, first off, you should look at, do you like that person? Do you trust that person? Do you feel like you know that person? That's the first thing that I would say. The second one is, because we have people ask us, well, how many listings do you have? Because they feel like they want to know, are you going to give my house enough attention? If they say, well, I don't have any listings, or I have one listing or two listings. I would be concerned because you're asking somebody to sell the most valuable asset you have, but they aren't producing. They may not know or have an expertise in selling a home. If they're like with us, okay, you guys have 30 listings, or I remember once Kim and I were carrying 40 listings. You guys have 40 listings. Are you going to have time for us? Well, the answer, if you're on a team, is yes. Yes, we are. Because guess what? You want to open houses? Hey, Don, we've got open houses. We have 12 people total, 13 people on our team now. We can cover open houses. We can cover marketing. We can cover all these things. So being able to leverage the team to the benefit of the client is huge. An individual agent, if they're carrying a lot of listings, not saying they can't, but a lot of the times it's definitely harder to carry multiple listings and give each individual client, each individual listing the attention that they really need. That's one of the big reasons why we started growing.
Well, I was going to say, and one of the things is the advantage, like you were talking about. I mean, just last year I had 5 in escrow at one time. Mm-hmm. Trying to handle those as an individual is, like you said, it's just mind-blowing. You've got so much going on, right, and you're having to coordinate everything out. Where now with you guys, listings that we've taken, I'm still the point man for my buyers. Mm-hmm. I'm writing the contracts, I'm going through the information, I'm there for the inspection and stuff like that, but there's additional agents. Kim and Chet and others are listed on the contract that they can actually work for us and represent us in that capacity. I'm still the point person. I'm still the contact person.
Right, they're dealing
whether
with
it's on listing or buyers, I'm still that person
but
that
you're
you
not
talk
running
to.
around with your hair on fire.
Correct. If I need the coverage, I go, hey, Kim, I need this, or hey, Chet, I need that. There's other agents that can handle that for me and help to take that load off in those times where we're running
right,
full out, hair on fire, everything's going.
Right. So, and we're still busy. It's just like right now I think we have 15 in escrow. And you wouldn't know, mm-hmm, because everybody kind of has their role to play on the team. And it just, marketing's still going out. We're not bouncing off the bottom. So what'll happen sometimes, individual agents, and Don and I talk about all the time, you get 1 in escrow, you get 5 in escrow. So you're spending so much energy just dealing with that in the process, you're not helping new people buy a home or sell a home. So yeah, you close this out, but then you have to start all over. So you're sliding back down the cracks. Stuff starts falling through the cracks, as opposed to saying, hey, I just went into escrow with this client. Here, transaction coordinator. Hey, Kim, by the way, can you do this? And I'm going to go out and help more people find their dream home. I'm going to help more people list and sell their dream home and give that energy. Oh, by the way, you know what? I'm going to work with the client, but Chris, I need you to do all the marketing to sell this home. Good. I'm going to schedule photos. I'm going to do this. I'm going to drop it on social media. I'm going to get exposed. So we all have different roles on the team. So my thing, what's the difference between a real estate team and a individual real estate agent? Depending on it really comes down to what you want as a client. Because I've heard it, individual agents say, well, I'll give you more attention. And that could be true. If they're not producing, even if they are producing, they probably may have systems where they can give you more attention. They just can't really help as many people as a real estate team could, and they are limited based off of what they know and what they can touch. A real estate team is limited based off of, there's 13 people on the team. We got people that range that have been in the business 17 years. We have people that have been in the business for a couple months. We have people that are, I think the youngest person we have on our team is like 27, all the way up to people that are in their 50s. We have a wide range. We have people that came from the military. We have people that came from the police force. We had people that came from the post office. We had people that came from the professional world as actual industry professionals. We have a wide range of information and knowledge. And we have systems in place to where it, in my opinion, is able to give more clients more attention. So that's just my personal feel. That's how I feel about it. If you have any more questions, as always, you got anything you want to add before I button this up?
No, I think that covers it. I mean, the diversity, the additional information that the team has, the ideas that can be bounced off of each other, to me, it's a real benefit to the clients, whether they're buying or selling, because you have the different thought processes and different backgrounds. I mean, Noreen, I think, was a CPA. We've got mortgage background. We've got, I mean, there's all kinds of different backgrounds.
Yeah, a whole bunch of different
investment. Drew's an investor.
Drew came here as an investor.
There's all kinds of things that can benefit. And it's not just benefiting the clients, it's also benefiting the other agents because that knowledge is shared.
Right.
So the other agents can benefit from that and gain more
They grow
knowledge.
a lot faster,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
A lot
It
faster.
really helps out when I can turn around and go, hey, Drew, I've got a question about an investor. Boom, Drew can answer that question for me, or he'll actually go out and we've actually worked with a client. And in doing that, being able to work together, the synergy that it creates is awesome.
Yeah.
And it really works out to, like I said, really everyone's benefit. I look for win-win situations, and that's where I really feel this is set up, primed and ready to go. So, whoop.
So check it out. Do me a favor. Once you get done watching this, go check out the Real Estate Minute. It's on Facebook right now. We're actually starting to build that out for Don. He has years of experience in this, and he actually wants to start putting out information and content. And it's going to be short, unlike mine. You know, we're already at 17 minutes. Mine are extremely long, and not everybody watches the whole thing. But he'll actually be breaking down a minute worth of information and just kind of throwing at you, fire hose. Be sure to like, share, comment. As always, go check out our YouTube page. Definitely, you know, just the big one, share. I have a lot of people. If you have questions, send me a question. Send it down into the bottom portion, or you can PM me directly. And I guess that's about it. So until the next one, we appreciate you. KSA Kris here, the Real Estate Blitz, and we'll see y'all later. All right? Have a good one.